Good morning after Halloween. I hope you got out last night and enjoyed and are not on such a sugar high that you couldn't get to sleep last night. But if nothing else, at least you got to sleep in an hour this morning because we did fall back. Well, this week's lesson is about Moses receiving the rules for the Israelites. Today's lesson can be found in Exodus, and it starts at chapter 18 and goes all the way through chapter 31. That's a lot, but it's some good information. Last week we learned that the Israelites complained about everything. It was just 3 weeks after the Israelites left Egypt, Moses' father-in-law, who was Jethro, came to see Moses. Moses had not been one of the slaves in Egypt. Moses met Jethro and his daughter when Moses fled after killing the mean slave driver that was beating one of the Israelites. After greeting each other, they went into Moses' tent. Moses told Jethro everything God had done, which would have taken a long time. Just as a quick review, God spared the Israelites from the plagues in Egypt. God delivered the Israelites from Egypt. God parted the Reed Sea and destroyed Pharaoh's army. God provided all the Israelites needed in the desert. God gave the Israelites Moses to lead them and to teach them. I was pretty good. You would think the people would be praising God and thanking Him for all He had done for them. We know better. And Jethro's about to learn how the Israelites kept Moses busy with their petty disagreements. So Jethro got there, came to visit, and the next day, Jethro watched Moses settle disagreements between the people. That's all Moses got done all day. People just kept coming, arguing with each other. Moses was the only person that settled disagreements. Jethro told Moses that he should pick some honest men to learn the law and to settle the easiest cases. Well, Moses talked to God, and God had Moses go up Mount Sinai. God saw the problem and knew it was time to give His people the rules they needed to live by. So God descended on Mount Sinai in fire, and that made great smoke cover the mountain. And the people down below, the Israelites, saw that. God called Moses and Aaron up the mountain. There, God told Moses His rules that would guide the Israelites in the promised land. There are some pretty good rules there. And this is from Exodus chapters 20 through 31 again. I was fascinated when I read these verses in the Bible. There are rules for the Israelites that cover lots of areas, including, well, the Ten Commandments are there. We'll see more about them later. There were rules for setting a slave free, which I didn't understand, because the Israelites had just been slaves and now they were expected to own slaves. What to do with a kidnapper, what to do with a robber, how to treat widows and orphans. And one statement I really liked this one. Don't do wrong just because everyone else is doing it. Remember at school? But Johnny was running down the hall and you didn't yell at him. Well, it doesn't matter what Johnny was doing. You don't do wrong just because everyone else is doing it. And in agriculture, this is still used today, that they were to plant their fields for 6 years. On the 7th year, you let the land rest. We still do that today. There were rules on how to deal with a woman that does evil magic. They had sorceresses. Back then, they were a superstitious people. What to do if a bull kills a person. And many more rules. Moses came off Mount Sinai, and here's the important part. He wrote the rules down and he gave them to the people. The people knew the rules. So God called Moses back up Mount Sinai so God could give Moses the rules written on stone. So Moses went back up. Well, he was up there for a long time, and this time Moses took Joshua up the mountain with him. You'll hear so much more about Joshua when the Israelites get to the Promised Land. After Moses left to go up the mountain to get the rules written in stone, some of the people talked Aaron into making a golden calf so the Israelites could worship the calf as an idol. Now Aaron knew it was wrong. He had to. The people knew it was wrong, but Aaron did it anyway. When the calf was built, the people partied, danced, sang, and, "Oh, my great idol calf, oh, you are my God." Woo! When Moses got back down off the mountain, he was so mad. And he saw the Israelites sinning. He was so mad that he broke the stone tablets. Can you imagine how disappointed God was when all the people that were worshiping the idol? The people that did not repent were punished severely by God. And none of the people in that generation that were worshiping, that came out of Egypt, were allowed to go to the promise. Well, this week's video is about God's love and the Ten Commandments. The video is from pursuegodkids.org. Miss Martha put a link to the animated video that shows the Ten Commandments. The link looks like this. Please watch the video and see what Jesus said about the most important commandment. And remember, it's not the rules, it's how we treat each other. Election days this week. Make sure your parent or guardians have gone to vote. Very important. And I wish you all stay well. Have a great week of school. And we'll talk to you later.
Hey kids, have you ever wondered why your parents have some of the rules they do? Maybe they don't let you play video games before you do your homework. Or maybe they make you clean your room on Fridays.
Whatever it is, they probably have a good reason for it.
Did you know that God gave us some really important rules to follow too?
That's right. Let's find a little bit more about those rules. God gave 10 commandments for the people to follow.
A little while after the Israelites escaped Egypt, God called Moses to the top of a mountain.
And when he got up there, God gave him 10 important rules.
And those rules are called the 10 Commandments. The first 4 commandments are about us and God. The first 4 commandments are: you must not have any other God. You must not have any idols or worship things other than God. You must not misuse the name of God. And lastly, you should take 1 day a week to rest and worship God.
And these commandments teach us how to respect God and worship only Him. The last 6 commandments are about people and us. These commandments are: to honor your mother and father. Don't murder anyone. Don't commit adultery. Don't steal. Don't lie. And don't be jealous of other people.
Some of these seem pretty obvious, but they help us to love other people.
They show us how we should treat others.
The whole point is to love God and love people. One time, some really religious people came to Jesus to ask him which commandment was most important out of all of them.
He didn't pick one, but instead he gave him 2 different commandments. He said the greatest commandment of all is to love God with all your heart.
And he said the second greatest commandment is to love others just as you love yourself.
These 2 commandments explain all of them. Memory verse.
The entire law and all the demands of the prophets are based on these 2 commandments. Jesus was trying to tell them that the commandments weren't just about following rules,
but they were really about having good relationships.
See, if you understand that you need to love God and love others,
then the rules don't matter. You'll be following them anyway.
So kids, just like your parents have good reasons for all of their rules, so does God.
He wants us to love Him and others.
Hey Hey kids and parents, if you want to hear more about love
or relationships, check out the links below.